You got to sing it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of playing something today because today's the day he died, but I won't do it. I won't do it. I was thinking about it, but I didn't have anything lined up. But
It
today's the day
just
he died.
sucks
Also,
totally. It makes me
yeah,
mad.
also Mr. Franklin died today on the same day. She died August 16th. The King,
Who
and
else?
Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin. She died today.
Oh, oh, really?
Yeah, same day. Strange. The Queen,
How
the
far
King and the
apart?
Queen. Same day. It was today.
How
Wow.
I don't know what time, but they both died on August 16th. So yeah,
yeah,
the
but
King and the
but
Queen.
but but many years later, right? Aretha died many
Yeah,
years
Oh,
yeah,
later.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Many years later, yeah. She
Yeah.
died about 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's,
Yeah, but on the same day, which is really odd, especially
yeah,
since they
it
both,
was really odd.
So.
So,
But
yeah.
well, I won't play any more of those songs.
Yeah, that sucks though. But I mean, you could play if somebody else was singing it, like the
I mean,
local chorus.
I can't believe I can't play a gospel song one of these guys. Once in a while, I can't imagine that they would get this stuff, but maybe they will.
I don't even know. I don't
Who
even
knows?
know. I
Who
mean,
knows?
they didn't give me a strike. They didn't give me a bad time for it. They just said you can't, play that. Anyway, I'm going to turn the mic over to you for the lesson that you
Okay.
can play.
All right. I can play. Yes, I can play. Jim Stewart's okay with that. Are you ready now? I'll do say so.
Yes, go for it.
All right. Hey, everyone, what's happening? This is Reverend Wayne Stills for Miracles Everywhere and Good Entertainment, and it's going to be here. And this is from the Christ Mind. We're reading from the Christ Mind with Lynn today. Lynn Johnson, the incomparable Lynn Johnson, and I'm looking forward to it. It's channel material, and it's the same voice as the course. If I didn't tell you it was not the course, you probably figure it was the course. Um, so I would say it's pretty much the course. Daryl Morley Price was the channel. It was first one was 2012, I think, and the second one was 2014, something like that. So I'm going to first play the lesson of the day, which I think is 228, and then I'm going to with some music in the background. And it's a short lesson. It's not exceptionally long, but so do a small cup of coffee or something when you relax today. And there you go. So
Lesson 228. God has condemned me not, no more do I. My Father knows my holiness. Shall I deny his knowledge, and believe in what his knowledge makes impossible? Shall I accept as true what he proclaims as false? Or shall I take his word for what I am, since he is my Creator, and the one who knows the true condition of his Son? Father, I was mistaken in myself because I failed to realize the source from which I came. I have not left that source to enter in a body and to die. My holiness remains a part of me as I am part of you, and my mistakes about myself are dreams. I let them go today, and I stand ready to receive your word alone for what I really am.
that's the lesson of the day. I won't get into it because we have something else today. But but it is a good one. So they can do it when you get a chance on your own. But God is not condemning. Is condemning not. No more. No more. No more do I. And quickly, just when you're feeling that you're condemning yourself, just remember God doesn't condemn you at all. You're totally innocent. You're an innocent person. You've done nothing wrong. Everything that you think you've done wrong is just a story you're telling yourself. It's a story that you've written from the start, from the very start. And so just and there's nothing we made up all the morals, we made up all the ethics, we made up everything. It's just get past it, get over it. Um, God does not condemn you. He doesn't condemn you. He's the boss, and he says, "Don't condemn yourself." So don't condemn yourself. God is perfect, omnipresent, omniscient. He's everywhere perfect. So you're perfect. Your soul is perfect. So everything you do here is perfect. Doesn't mean you want to get along with people because it's more fun. So that's the only reason why you would ever do things that you think you wanted, do things that you wanted that you force yourself to do anything. It's just you want to get along with people, but there's nothing to do with guilt. No guilt. It's like a game. You play a game. You learn how to play the game well. But nothing to do with guilt if you don't play well. That just means you play another game. That's all. You keep playing the game, and you find a game you like, and then you play. You play for fun. That's how you win. Most fun, the person who has the most fun wins. All right, that's good enough for now. Let's. I'm ready, Lynn. Whenever you are.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where we ended up last week, and
Well,
it looks,
unfortunately, it was like 3 weeks ago. That's why
yeah,
it's going
it's
away.
been a while. So what I'm just gonna do is just pick a place
Yeah, pick a
and
place.
pick a place, and I'm going to go up. We're gonna go back, up
Yeah,
and back and back and up.
if you look at the content, it's all there's set up like an index almost, where it's still
Yeah,
the concepts are all there. You can just pick one of those if you just
yeah.
what turns
I'm
you on.
thinking I want to start with the because we're in chapter 2, I believe the arrival of truth. I'm just going to start there
Okay.
since I can't remember and it's all the same. So let me.
Do the same.
Yeah,
Well, it's true that truth is just repeated in different ways.
exactly. So there we go.
Lynn, can I do a dedication right now?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go for
It's
it.
been a long time, been a long time, been a long, lonely, 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 lonely time. I miss you, Rev Wayne. Thanks. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Thank you very much. And a little Led Zeppelin. Thank you.
Pretty
Thank you.
funny.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Let me see. Okay, you know what? This thing was gonna mess me up here. Let me see. This is a new computer. I just got this new computer. So
New computers are tough because they're very good. But first, you have to, how they work is a problem.
yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
see it. I see
Exactly.
it. Yeah, I see it.
All right, good. You see it. All right. So we're gonna be looking at chapter 2, the arrival of truth.
I like it.
Chapter 2 The Arrival of Truth. Truth cannot come into a mind filled with thoughts that contradict or attack it. The ego's thought system is based on the denial of truth. It attempts to substitute falsity for truth, fear for love, and separation for oneness. As long as you are driven by the movement of ego-based thought, you will not be attracted to truth. There are but two systems of thought, one true and one false. When falsity is preferred, is truth absent. If you but recognized the cost to you in suffering of allegiance to the ego, you would raise to question all that you now believe. Your beliefs and perception based on belief bring about your experience. Perception and belief literally construct the world you see and determine your experience of it. You see what you believe, and you believe what you want to believe. It is there because you want it to be there. Yet is this forgotten, absent from awareness, and so it must be if you are to impute reality and independence to the world you see. This picture of reality could not be long maintained unless you forgot your role in making it. Belief in guilt. The belief in guilt, sin, and attack holds this world together in your mind, giving it its appeal. Unless the world provided you with something that has value to you, you would cease to maintain it. What value does it have? The world as you see it provides you with scapegoats, with people and situations onto whom you can project guilt, blame, and punishment. The deep guilt that lives in your mind and the need to punish that guilt is an intolerable burden that must find release. Yet the ego cannot allow guilt to be totally healed, for its existence depends on it. Its solution is to project guilt and the need to attack, to punish, onto the world, onto your brothers. The inner tension is thus temporarily lessened and made tolerable, yet never is it completely healed. Thereby is the belief in guilt and attack strengthened. Guilt is either true or false. It cannot be both. To see guilt anywhere, in anyone, for any reason, is to make it real. How you see your brother is how you see yourself. What you see as real in your brother, you will see in yourself. This is a law of mind that is always in effect, even in the world of illusion. To project your sense of guilt onto your brother and to condemn him for it, which is to attack him, will never rid your mind of the guilt you carry. To see guilt anywhere is to confirm it in your mind and thus condemn yourself to further suffering. Fear always accompanies guilt, and suffering is the inevitable result. The end of suffering is the end of guilt. Only the guilty suffer, for only they have need of it. Innocence demands nothing of anyone, but rather wills only to give. All it sees are worthy of the gifts it gives, for it sees only itself everywhere and in everything. The innocent cannot suffer or condemn. They know not fear, and so love is all they have to give. Those who know love only need not fear. For them the world has become a happy place ruled by love. Everywhere they look, they see only the face of innocence. Holiness and innocence are the qualities of the capital S Self, the Christ, the one Spirit that is the truth of all. Where its face is seen, love has returned to bless the world, freed from fear. And under its gentle gaze are all forgiven and returned to the kingdom of God.
That's a good place to stop. I like that how he equates. Basically, he said here is that the suffering is the end of guilt. Only the guilty suffer, and only for only they have need for it. He pounding on the innocence demands nothing from anybody. Innocence, it's hard for us to understand how important it is to understand that we're innocent. Because once you understand your innocence, you know that it's really useless to attack. It's useless to attack. It's useless to think you're being attacked because everyone's innocent. Not you're not the only innocent one. You're innocent because you have discovered everyone else's innocence. So once you discover everyone else is innocent, what are you gonna do? Why would you attack? What are you attacking for? What's the point? You're not gonna prove that person's guilt. You mustn't put blaming them for something when you can't prove their guilt because they're innocent. They're always innocent. Same thing with you. Now, why is that? Why are you born innocent? You have Christianity, which says, well, you're innocent because he died for your sins. Well, we're not saying that here. We're saying you're just innocent. This is just the way it is. Well, I mean, yeah, well, God is omnipresent. He's perfect. He's omniscient. He's everywhere perfect. So God, that means God is a part of God's infinity in me. So that's why. It's the law. The law says we're innocent because God's innocent. God's love, so we are love. God is perfection and flawlessness. God God is the law of these things. He's the law of love. It's not kind of love where you walk around, you feel it in your body, and it feels the affection. And you're like, oh my God, I love God. It's a romantic feeling. No, it's just the law of love. It'll guide you. It's your spirit. It's your internal teacher, and it's always there, always, always, always. And same with your innocence. You fall back on your innocence. Your soul is totally innocent, guiltless. Everything you think you've done wrong, no. You're not being held accountable for anything. You are not being held accountable. If that happened, more people held accountable. For what? The end of suffering is the end of guilt. Get rid of guilt, get rid of suffering. And then what do you think?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I was thinking as you were saying, even our law says innocent until proven guilty.
Right, exactly.
And we are born innocent. We are innocent. That's what we were just talking about with Zeta a little bit ago. The same thing is all spirits are born innocent. And it's only through our own choice that we believe that we're guilty. And part of the reason that the only reason we think that we're guilty is because we're projecting guilt everywhere we look. So we look around and we say, oh, that doctor that spanked me on the butt when I was born and made me cry, he's guilty. Oh, that mother who didn't, bring me,
My bottle, my
wanted,
milk or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we look out to the world and we see guilt. Oh, this is hurting me. This is not fun. I don't like this. From the very beginning, we are objecting to our situation in the world, and so we see guilt everywhere. And the truth is, everyone we are all innocent, and until we can look at the world without condemning it, which is what he's talking about. You look at the world and you just stop condemning it. You stop saying, oh, that guilty person that made this law, or that guilty person who, didn't give me my correct change, or, any of the things that we may think. If we stop seeing guilt, we'll stop experiencing guilt. And when only we see innocence and you can do that easily. It's so easy. Look at how easily you forgive your children when they've done something. They broke your favorite vase, or they spilled paint on your new carpet, or any of those things. Excuse me. You're not gonna, oh, evil thing, I'm gonna kill you now for doing that, unless you're insane. Insane people do things, but a sane person would look and say, oh, he's a baby, he knocked over the can of paint. I shouldn't have left the paint on the floor. I don't know. Whatever, it's not his fault. And when we look at the world and we say, all these things I'm accusing you of are not your fault. Where you got is a product of um, your upbringing, your thought system, all these different things are, what are putting you in this place. And if you could just stop condemning the world and see the innocence of it, then you would be able to see the innocence of yourself. And that's what Jesus did. He just looked and he saw, the face of Christ in everybody instead of the evildoer. And he remembered God. He remembered who he was.
Right. And one of my favorite quotes is, from ACIM, from the course, is in the how is peace possible in the world, in the manual. I just flick through it. Again, comes to the question of judgment. This time, ask yourself whether your judgment or the word of God is more likely to be true. For they say different things about the world, and things so opposite that it's pointless to reconcile them. God offers the world salvation. Your judgment would condemn it. God says there's no death. Your judgment would see death as the inevitable end of life. God's word assures you that He loves the world. Your judgment says it's unlovable. Who is right? For one of you is wrong. It must be so.
Oh, I love that. Where
Then
is that
awesome.
again?
That's the
Where,
then how is peace possible in the world?
how is peace possible? Okay, very good. Yeah,
Session
that's
number,
exactly
number
it.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's it.
yeah,
Jesus sees the world innocent, and he sees love, and he sees resurrection, and he sees power, goodness and everything. And we see the same world, but we see it totally differently. We see
yep.
misery and suffering and negativity. And he says, I have the question, because the question is not really a question. He says, who's right?
That's
Yeah.
right. It's not.
It's
Yes,
very rhetorical. Who's right? I am. No, wrong answer. If one of you is wrong, it must be so. Yeah.
that's awesome. Eddie has his hand up.
I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Eddie, what's up?
Thank you. You know that I've come to watch that it's easier to forgive other people for mistakes than to forgive myself and for mistakes because the mistakes I made seem to compound through the lives of my well special relationships, right? My children, my spouse, my parents, all the mistakes that I made against them and and to see how their lives have been affected by them in a destructive way and still to this day, still are being lived out because of mistakes that things that I taught them or that things that I did that taught them how to react in certain ways. And that's I don't know, it comes back to development of trust for me that it all worked out, all that stuff happened for whatever, like all things work for the good. So, without those mistakes being made, those and my children turning out the way they did, I would have never woke up because I was looking at my children going, what the hell's going on here? I wanted to have kids. I wanted to have, the like the Crosby, Stills and Nash Young song, the white picket fence
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
cat and the dog and and it worked out that way for a little bit, but then it just all just fell apart. And it was because of the falling apart of it that I had to look at the common denominator, which was how I was living my life, which is I was choosing I was choosing the world instead of choosing the Lord. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of the roughest part that I'm facing with right now. But the whole development of trust and everything that happens for the so these things are set up. I chose this life. My children chose their life, and we're all just ascending, a chain of forgiveness into the celestial realm. So that's the only thing I can answer with the guilt that comes up about just what I said. So I don't know if that makes any sense or if you have any comments. But thank you for letting me share.
Makes sense to me. I mean, it's a interpretation of Adam and Eve, where the really good and evil is not necessarily, it's higher knowledge. It's uh not just a test, but as much as it's higher knowledge that you say it's meant for some other time, but later when they're more worthy of that knowledge, and they weren't supposed to eat because they would fail in their attempt to succeed, or whatever it is they're going. That would be too much for them, and that's what happened. That was the fall, so to speak, is that they fell into negativity. They fell into the gospel of self improvement, so to speak, and all that was what we asked for. We asked for this. We asked for self improvement. We asked for negativity, but we didn't realize what we were asking for. And there was if we went through the tree of life, went through the God's way, if we were our own the snake's way, we would have been given that knowledge anyhow. But we would have given it to the Spirit's way. So sort of what you were saying about you chose the world instead of the Lord. The knowledge is going to be the same in the end, because good and evil. But you understand good and evil for what it is. Good and evil are not real. There's only good. You understand that, and you understand the tree of knowledge of good and evil as for what it is, coming from truth, or you see it as a complicated confusion when you come from the world, when you come from the serpents. Great, man. And you see, that makes sense.
That totally makes sense to me. And yeah, even as a parent, as much as you may think that you have an influence on your children, um, I eventually figured out that they were doing their own thing. My kids, the influence I had on them was, my personality, but they had many other influences, and they came here for a purpose. And so, they've done all kind of thing. My son went to prison. My, youngest daughter has, autoimmune diseases and all sorts of things wrong with her. And, it's everybody has their own life. And I can't blame myself for any part of it, because I'm not in charge,
No.
seriously, of any of it. No matter what I do, they're going to be the person they are. Just like no matter what your parents did you become what they wanted you to be?
No, 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 no. No.
I know I didn't.
I didn't what I wanted me to be.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's what they wanted me to be. I mean, I didn't become what I wanted to be, but I didn't know that I wanted to be what I wanted to be. I mean, the undoing is the undoing is normally is very often a surprise. You
yes,
know, you find out in the middle of, hey, I'm in the undoing. I had no idea.
yeah.
You're
I
in the
mean,
middle of it until you realize you're being undone.
yeah,
Yeah,
like Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, they wanted their son to be a good carpenter.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah. And then he had a little change. He
yeah,
was
Eddie
he was
has his hand up again.
he was undone.
Yeah, he
Totally,
was undone.
totally undone. But he got through it. That's the key. That's why
Yeah,
he's a good example. He goes, basically, if a guy beats death, then everything is fine. He showed us. Don't worry about it. Look, death is not the end. I'm right here.
yep,
I'm right here. It's over. I did it. So what are you worried about? You're gonna live on. So you don't have to worry about death anymore. That's not what you think it is. I'm not saying I want to die. Who wants to die? But the death is not the end of your life force. You live on. I resurrected my own body. I reincarnated my own body. I
Yeah.
reincarnated the baby's body. I reincarnated the same body that I died with. That's a neat trick, but I did it.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
have, so you can do something that, and you can do more than I did. So so maybe you can even avoid death.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Ed, go ahead.
Well, I don't, it just, this is kind of digressed into, or digressed, I don't know, transitioned over into death, but that's a whole nother freaking mind bender. But, uh, so, I just when I read that about death, the lessons and whatnot about death, I never questioned it. I was like, oh, of course, you know. But that doesn't mean like I didn't hear the whole Zoom call today with Zeta, but I came in when Jorge was talking about his what's going on for him, and I was realizing like, well, that stuff. I don't say it's going to come up for everyone, but it's going to come up for a lot of us. Well, okay, speak for myself. That it does come up for me based on symptoms of the body or thoughts combined with symptoms of the body or worldly events. Uh, the fear does arise, and he tells it that that's the beauty of the course is he tells us everything that we need to know to get through the challenges. The doubt will go to come again. So it's like, oh, okay, this is just this again, and then I have something. Well, I don't remember what lesson it is, but it says, I rest in God. This thought will carry you through everything basically. So then uh, I realized like that's kind of my go-to. That's just where I just go to because there's there's nothing else I can do outside of becoming whatever consumed by the stuff. But I find that I am consumed by the stuff. But I'm supposed to be consumed by the stuff meaning we'll just call it darkness because I think he calls it darkness or the falsehood, because that's how we bring it to the light is that we lift up every corner and we bring up all this garbage to look at it with the Holy Spirit and Jesus and so that's death is like the last thing, right? Like you just your body turns into however it works out. But that's not me. And I've had several experiences like that. But see, there's that but.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time you get closer to the eye of the needle, well, just my own experience, boy, fear does come up, and so the only place I can go is like he tells us in the man. I'm not a course guru, but he tells us go to the quiet, still center, and that's the center of the storm, and everything's going on around you, but that's our strength. He says we've weakened our strength and strengthened our weakness. When the turnaround is now we do the reverse and we start going to the quiet center storm. I rest in God. That's where I rest in God. And my mind that's the only instant, the thoughts are just doing whatever they're doing. Um, could be terror, he says. But if I stay in the quiet, still center, that's where forgiveness is, then that's my strength. And as I strengthen that, and hopefully I can be there in this incarnation, like Bill Thetford did, and just walk in the world just in forgiveness and be able to be of service that way too. Uh, but until then, I'm on these Zoom calls with you guys, so. Thanks, thanks for that, whatever that was.
There you go.
All right. Absolutely. Yeah, what I do very often is you know, when we're talking about death, is I would suggest if you ever want to rattle death's cage. Read read chapter 27 in the manual. What is death? Because Jesus takes, it's not like he says, well, death is a part of life, and you have to deal with it. And, if you just accept it, and, it's a transition. No, he basically buries it. He says, death is, I mean, I'm going to read just the first part, and then you'll see how powerful it is. And you're going to read it yourself if you haven't read it. Death is an essential dream from which all illusions stem. Isn't that madness to think of life as being born, aging, losing vitality, and then dying in the end? We've asked this before, but now we need to consider it more carefully. It is the one fixed, unchangeable belief of the world that all things are born to die. This is regarded as the way of nature, not to be raised to question, not to be accepted but to be accepted as a natural law of life. The cyclical, the changing, the unsure, the undependable, the unsteady, waxing and waning in certain way upon a certain path. All this taken as a will of God, and no one asks if a benign creator could will this. That's the first paragraph. And that's his setup for he buries him further and further and further and further and further. In this perception of the universe as God created it, it would be impossible to think of him as loving. That's the next line. So read it. And but when you're done with it, you're like, wow, he does not death is not real as far as he's concerned. It's not real, but the very idea of death is horrible. It's he as he describes it, he said people who go to funerals are death worshippers. Try saying that at a funeral. He suggests that you don't, but just try saying it. Death worshippers.
That's what I was talking about the other day with Dove. Probably weren't here when we first came in, and we were chatting, and he was here, and he's been ill. He had a heart attack, he had a stroke, this
Really?
stuff.
Just recently?
Yeah, in the last few
Oh,
weeks. It's been
yeah.
about 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
2 or 3 weeks ago, and a mild stroke, a mild heart attack. He's looking really actually very good.
Oh,
And
good.
I think he went and had some kind of procedure yesterday, but I'm not sure what. Probably had
All
a
right.
stent put in, is what I think they wanted to do. But
Okay.
anyway, he came in the Zoom, and people were chatting, and I ran and got a cup of coffee. And when I came back, everybody's talking about you can't die yet. Don't die, Dove. Dove's gonna die. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I remember that happened years back also. The same thing, he was in the hospital.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah, and everybody thought he was gonna die.
yeah,
And
exactly. And he didn't die.
yeah,
Matter of
and
fact, I should play it. I have that on the tape of called Paradises where I did a show, and I had a big prayer for him.
oh,
Yeah, it was
All
very
that
interesting.
all that's showing is the fear is the fear of death in their own minds.
yeah,
Oh yeah, of course.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's the ultimate fear. I mean, obviously, it's
yeah.
the ultimate fear because no one knows what the heck it is.
But
But it's just continued life, but no one
yeah,
knows
And
what it is.
it's greed because they don't want them to go, like I was sharing with my grandson, because his mom's uh mom was sick and dying, and they're Christian, and they're praying for her to get better, and I just said, well, how do you know she wants to get better?
Hmm.
Like, and what's better? Like, how do you know
yeah,
she doesn't want, how do you know she doesn't want, how do you know God's not holding his hands out to her at nighttime and saying, come home, like this is the warped sense of valuing the valueless that we have here. Like, oh no, you're gonna die. It's like, no, you've just graduated. You've made it through, and now you get to go home.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Someone,
and yeah. But yeah, by the end of after we talked about it though for a while, he did perk up. He started perking up more and more and more. And by the end of the thing, he looked like normal, and he was talking and everything. And so it's like, I mean, once he started, you know, talking about the course, teaching, you could see the life come back in him. You could go and watch the video, you could see the life come back into him. And he became more and more and more alive as he shared. And that's what happens. That's why you keep coming back. That's why I keep coming back, is because the world drains your life. You're thinking about the world drains your life, but when you get into the place where all you can think about, or what the whole main subject is, reality, and the whole main subject is remembering the truth of who we are, then it refurbishes us. We become more alive and alert and aware. And that's why I do it. I don't do it because, I don't have anything better to do in the world. There's plenty of stuff I could be doing,
Well,
but
there's plenty of stuff you are doing. I mean, we're making the world up. I mean, so that's why we're tired. There's a lot of
right.
energy a lot of energy to generate a world. I mean, it's 31 where he's like, you can do what I'm asking you to do. Look what you're doing.
Yeah,
He says, you're making the whole world up. So don't tell me you can't do what I'm asking you to do.
exactly.
It's simple what I'm asking you to do compared to what you're doing. You're generating an entire world it makes no sense. It shouldn't be created. It's an impossible world. And you're making one up. And you say you can't do what I'm asking you to do?
Well,
We should be
the incredible thing is though is to ask, and that's one thing that I learned from Teddy at the end, towards the after he had ALS and everything, and he was reflecting back on the other the previous 30 whatever years since his revelation. Was he basically just said it point blank. I have it marked. I did a clip of it because it's like, if there was a teaching of any teachings of all his shares, was, he said, in ev I realize it now, that I was living off the revelation, and I wasn't asking in every circumstance. So I was believing that because I had revelation, I knew what was best. And looking back at it now, he didn't say it in all these exact words, but this was the summation of it, is I made a lot of mistakes, and ask in every situation. And if I don't know, that's what I do. I just ask. Like this morning, I didn't know what to do, and I'm not feeling all that great, or we'll just say the body's not. So whatever, okay, we'll just sit here and maybe we'll transition. But then I got a text, and then my aunt called to ask if I could come put something in the car for her. And so I was like, okay. So I got out of the bedroom, I got my shoes on, and I did that. And then next thing I know, I turned on the computer. There's Zeta's thing, like I'm doing now. I'm involved in it. Now I hear what you're saying, Lynn, because now I feel like, oh, I'm being truly helpful, you know? And I feel better.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we're here. This is a spiritual gym. We're here to work out
Yes.
spiritually. We're here to work out spiritually, and that's why it's easier here to be spiritual, because that's what we're here for, to be spiritual together and to work out together as a team. Then we get out in the world and we try to apply. And that's why when people come in here, they argue with you, and they yes but you instead of yes anding you. It's hard for them to realize that we're not really here to contemplate or to debate. We're really here just to read the course, see what it says, and do it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the idea behind the course. So and to agree with somebody, support them, and then build on that. And
Yep.
I've been doing that here for
Exactly.
20 years. 20 years. I never ever just said, "Nah, I don't think you're right." Yeah, I've never said that to anybody here. And so, nah, you're dead wrong. Let me tell you why. Essentially, there's ways of doing that. Well, so that's sneaky. You don't realize you're doing it. You say yes, but yeah, I see what you're saying, but but what I look at is this, and what you basically have said to the person, yes, but you're wrong. This is the way you should look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it's very common for people to do that. They hear what you're saying, and they say, "Well, yeah, well, I see it this way." The mind kind of works that way for a lot of people because we're very competitive.
Yeah.
Instead of saying actively, "Yeah, you're saying what you're saying," and yes, and Yes, and this is what I think. Also, I can add to what you're saying,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we build each other up that way.
And
And
actually what I've learned is to see how they are right.
exactly,
Because you
exactly,
have to look and see, are you, maybe you're right. You know what? You know,
exactly,
your
exactly,
method may be different, your opinions may be different, but you and I are thinking about the same thing because we
exactly,
are.
mhm,
It's either love or a call for love.
exactly. And either one's fine.
Yeah.
I always say that if you feel like you're out of love, then go out and ask for love. Don't go and take it and compete for it. But go out and ask for it. Just say to someone, you want to go out, find a friend, you know, and see, and find someone who wants to give love. But don't get all pouty and isolate yourself and fragment yourself and find yourself isolated because you're afraid and be alone and miserable. I spend a lot of time alone also, but whenever I feel like I want some love, I go out into the workshop or something
Yep.
and I reach out to people. That's why I'm calling out for love, you know. But and then and then when I feel okay, and then I'll take a break. And that's what happens here. When you get on here, you want to be helpful, but it is you want to receive some love and you want to give love. When I come in here, it's what I want to do. I want to receive and give love.
Yep. Oh gosh, yeah. That's what we're here for. So
You're out of love. You feel like you're out of love. So it's more like you want to remind yourself that you're never out of love. No, it's not like Bear, my dog, who thinks we're out of love. That's not the case. Yeah.
oh my gosh. So you want to listen to a little bit more of this before we have
Yeah, sure.
10 more minutes left?
Make a suggestion. You see where it says, I've heard this guy before, and he's very slow. Put it on 125.
Okay.
You be surprised how much,
Yeah,
how much
you know what? You're probably right because I'll tell you, he does tend to, which I don't mind it. My mind,
120. Try 120.
120. Yeah, let's try 120. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
let's see it.
All right.
Guilt demands vengeance to be paid in blood and suffering.
Oh, that is better.
The
Yeah.
guilty see no one as innocent, for to do so would deny the fundamental, alleged truth on which their world is based. They see a guilty world in which every hand is raised against them, and everywhere attack lies in wait. The face of friendship but conceals the desire to condemn, for no one can be trusted. The guilty have no friends, only temporary alliances entered into for specific purposes. Their shifting and unstable goals make them all the more untrustworthy, and nowhere can safety and security be found. The guilty cannot be trusted, for their guilt has driven them mad, and madness is treacherous to all. Such is the bleak picture those who believe in guilt have constructed to represent the world wherein they live. And everyone is waiting to do to them what they think they have done to their brothers. Vengeance given and received makes love impossible. Where love is not, fear rules, bringing pain and misery to all. Is this what you want to be true? A life marked by fear and pain, where you are alone in a friendless world? It is only your belief in and defense of guilt that condemns you to such a world. If you are willing to leave guilt behind, to forgive the world for what never occurred, to extend the hand of friendship to your brother, you will be shown a world where mercy rules and kindness is given to all. To forgive or to condemn as guilty is a choice you are continuously called upon to make. Every day, in many different forms, under apparently different and widely varying circumstances, you are given the opportunity to choose the kind of world you want to inhabit. Forgive, and love itself will rise to greet you. Peace and joy will accompany you and quicken you on your journey home. Refuse to forgive, defend the vision of guilt, and you will suffer the bitter consequences of a life lived under a cloud of vengeance, where you will strike down or be struck down, and the pain of self-betrayal will darken all your days. Could such a choice be difficult to make? If you saw clearly the results that follow each choice, would choosing be difficult? If all the choices you have made have brought you sorrow, would you not want to choose again and choose differently? Forgiveness is the choice that must be made if you would be happy. A mind devoted to holding grievances is choosing conflict and attack as its constant state. With fear as your chosen partner, happiness will not be found. Happiness is part of joy, and joy without love is impossible. The belief in guilt is the denial of love, for fear is guilt's constant companion, and where fear is, love is not. The choice for love is the choice for forgiveness. Forgiveness overlooks all so-called sins that were never committed but in dreams. All dreams are dispelled by the gentle remedy it brings, and the world of illusion, enfolded in the gentle embrace of forgiveness, is quietly brought to an end, allowing truth to return and take you home.
Nice. Nice. I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the way he says where there's ellipses that there's so-called or alleged
Oh yeah,
or
yeah. The quotes around it.
yeah, supposed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The choice for love is just forgiveness overlooks all so-called sins. But never, I love that. Never, there's no guilt in the dream. That's what I always say. There's no guilt in the dream. If you can remember that, that's one of the best ways in your innocence. And when we're born into a dream, so we're not really born at all. When we're dying in a dream, we're not really dying at all. It's a dream. The dream is here, but the dream by nature is not here. So it's so paradoxical, but that's life. That's in a paradoxical world that shouldn't be here in the first place. So the dream is a dream, and by definition, it's not here. Nothing's happening, so you're not guilty for anything you do. If I wake up and I kill somebody in a dream, I'm not guilty for that. If I
right.
cheat, if I cheat on my wife in the dream, I'm not really cheating on my wife. There's no guilt there. You're not guilty in the dream. This is a dream, no different than a nighttime dream. It's just longer and more constrained, but it's a dream. No guilt in this dream. We only feel the guilt. One could say this is a dream of guilt. We're dreaming that
It
we're guilty.
is.
We're dreaming that we're guilty. We're dreaming that we're in trouble. I've always felt maybe because of how I was raised, but I always feel like I'm in trouble. I always in the back of my mind, I've always felt like I might get in trouble. Like I was answering to my parents, sort of, kind of, and not
Yeah,
much anymore. But when I was growing up, when there was always that voice in my head. Oh yeah, you do the right thing. You do the right thing. You know, that's how the whole race is to a certain degree, different variations of that guilt. And then we go into the night and we have different types of dreams. So then we don't feel guilty at all.
yeah,
And then that just shows us what we can experience here. Because dreams are just different variations of dreams here. And I've always said it's just like a dream. I was at 1 minute I was in my 20s and now I'm suddenly in my 50s. And just like a dream at night, you go from one place to another really quickly. How quickly I get to my 50s, it's like just like a dream. I was one moment, now I'm in another place at the next moment. I mean, I feel like, I was a minute ago, I was just 20 years old, 25 years old, and suddenly now I'm not. It's just like in a dream when you're at one place in a dream and you think of another place and you're there immediately, how it happens in a dream.
yep,
You know,
yeah.
so, so same thing is here in this world. It seems longer, but it's not really longer. If you look at your life, you probably feel like you were just 30 by just in your 30s. How did I get so old so quickly? It's like a dream, you know. It's like, ah, God, I got here so quickly. I was just 25 years old. Now, boom. That's how I look at it. So that's how I see. Well, I try to see how this world is just like a dream, and there's always dream clues, just like there are at night.
Yes.
Things come together, and you can prove this world's a dream to yourself. You can, you can prove to somebody who doesn't want to believe it, but you can prove this world to yourself that it's a dream, and weird things happen that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. In this what seems to be real. Yeah. I
Yeah,
see that all the time. Oh, how could that possibly be? It must be a dream.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Man,
I mean,
but it truly is a dream.
you don't see people foreheads like man, but you see things happen that that's very synchronistic, and they don't need the laws of logic. You could say that to make sense that happen, and it shows how this world is. I used to always think all the things are possible with God is a good thing, but and it is a good thing. I mean, that we didn't make anything happen, receive miracles on any level, but it's because this world is an impossible world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's what
exactly.
we made a world that we shouldn't have been able to make. So it's based on non-logic. The world was created through non-rational means.
Exactly.
So when we do something, the primary substance of the world is a non-rational thinking move, and logic is secondary. And so you can pretend your way out of here. Just like you pretend your way here, you just duplicate that process to get out. So that's why it's okay to think of any kind of theology you want, so long as you experience navigation out of here. And
That's right.
it might feel like you're pretending, but it's fine because that's what someone
We
might say.
are
Oh,
pretending.
it's fine, yeah, because that's how you got here. The
Yeah,
only way
we
you,
are
the only way,
pretending.
yeah, the only way you can get here is to say, "I'm going to make believe that I'm separate." That's the only way you can stay non-separate and be separate is if we may believe we're here.
Yeah. Just
And
like
one of
everything else.
exactly,
I'm going to pretend like I'm a writer and I'm going to
exactly,
sit down and start writing things. And guess what? I'm a writer.
exactly,
I'm Ed has
exactly.
his hand up. Ed,
Dad,
go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So when the guilt does arrive, even though it's real, the only thing to do with it is to look at it, not judge it, and to accept the correction.
yes.
And the correction is that it just kind of piddles out, you know? It
Yeah,
just has no, you don't react with it, don't move with it, don't do anything with it, but just allow it.
yeah.
And
Allow it to be there.
yeah.
Just look at it for what it is, and see it's a non-reality. See that.
Exactly.
Just look at it for the devastation. That of course is look at the devastation that you projected basically onto the reality, and then to see that it's the part of the dream, so it's not really even there. And especially that which is the negative, which is just the opposite of the positive is the only reality.
And that brings up the chuckle, you know, eventually, like again, strengthening the strength and weakening the weakness is by sitting with it in that, you know, quiet center of the storm, we realize like I'm not that. And it's kind of trippy in the transition, you know, depending on because we're all at different places, seemingly. Um, is it's kind of trippy. Like I lived believing like I was this part and I'm not this part, the split mind. And now what I do with that, I just turn to the Holy Spirit. I'll read I'll read, I'll gather, do whatever, and just be in the with holy company and just kind of chuckle at the whole situation, you know?
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yep.
You should be sure.
Yep.
Should we got here because we fed the laugh. So um, uh, laughing I was in front of wisdom teeth pulled or something, and she has to stay in bed. All four pulled at once or something. So she's been devastated. She's just on there, and I said, "You have to laugh. Just try to laugh. There's nothing really you can do. If you're laughing, you're not in pain."
That
And
is
th
true.
So you gotta laugh somehow. Just find something to laugh at. I said, laugh with yourself, and if you have to laugh at yourself, but laugh.
Yep.
But it's not even laughing at yourself, it's laughing at the split mind. It's kind of it's scary too because it can become quite vengeful and whatnot. But you know, you just learn to like, well, like I think you said it earlier, Rev. It's like okay, well. And Joel Goldsmith said this too, and so did, well, a lot of people say it, but you just look, okay, well, then I guess we're just gonna supposedly die then. Let's just die, because that's not real either. So let's see if it's time to, you know what I'm saying? Like even sit with that.
Sure. You only have to-
And if we transition, then we have the faith and the trust that oh great, this is it. Like I'm gonna wake up. If I'm still in the world, then great. There's more to do here, and if I'm not, then
Exactly.
I'm on to the next phase.
No, definitely. You nailed
Exactly.
it. Nailed
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally nailed it.
And
Totally nailed it.
yep. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this out.
Okay.
Thank you,
It's
Wayne.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Lynn, and thanks, Ed, and thanks. I mean, anyone on the radio or in Bell Talk, thanks for coming by. And I'll be back here tomorrow at 12 o'clock East. 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central. So come by tomorrow, and I'll be. I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking on, but I'll be doing the lesson. I'll probably talking on the lesson and see where it takes me. Maybe I have a couple other things I've been throwing around my head, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Probably play
Yeah,
less.
don't make too many plans, Rev.
Yeah, exactly. I like to take it. See, I like to decide 1 minute before you know what I'm doing.
That's right.
Yeah, so all right. So thanks very much, everyone. God bless you all. I'll see you when I see you. Until and peace.
Thank you. Peace. God bless.
Peace to us all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye bye.